Many of you have passwords. Do you have them written down? Does your password list look like my scribbles, where you crossed out the previous one and added a new one? How many of you have forgotten your old passwords? Takes you forever to get a new one. Well, this month's meeting. What is a password manager and why should I use it? How does it work? Why should I have one? Why am I so resistant to using one? How safe are all those passwords in the cloud? Well, Judy Taylor's here to tell us about that. Judy has been a dedicated member of the Santa Clarita Valley Computer Club for 36 years. Her involvement reflects her passion to technology and for community engagement. Her commitment to education extended to teaching adult technology classes for over 20 years through her local high school district. Judy believes in lifelong learning. Belief in lifelong learning underscores her dedication to empowering others with technology knowledge. Judy is a member of the Los Angeles FBI Senior Scammers Group and the Pierce College Computer Application and Technology Department Advisory Committee, where she collaborates on course suggestions and hardware recommendations. She's a very active member in the International Computer Organization known as APCUG, of which our club is a member. She is currently coordinator for the Speakers Bureau, which provides speakers like herself to the computer clubs throughout the country. Judy's belief in lifelong learning underscores her dedication to empowering others with technology knowledge. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to meet Judy Taylor.
You'll notice my background. It's an old Windows 7 one. I got rid of the skinny lady running down the beach so it could reflect more of our body types, so to speak. And my dedication to learning starts from preschoolers to seniors. And I do have to tell you, it was, a lot of fun working with the preschoolers. They're so receptive and everything. This is Password Managers. If we were all in person, I would ask how many people are using a password manager and have some way of being secure about it. And I see you, and many of the people would go like this, or they'd go like that. There's no way they were going to meet my eyes because their hands weren't raised. So it's something that every single person that is at this meeting tonight needs to use and do. Hands down, it's one of the things that's most important in your commuting world. Okay. So I am going to share my screen. And let that guy in, whoever he is. And here we go. Password managers. Silly question. Do I need one? The answer is, everybody all together, yes, I do. So I'm brought to you, as Bill said, from the APCUG Speakers Bureau. Huey is also a member. And I am coming to you from 35 miles northwest of Los Angeles, and it has finally gotten hot here. Amazing. So here's a few cute cartoons, and I could see if you had all those stored on your computers, it might blow everything up. And I love this one. Songs get stuck in my head. Passwords just seem to leak out. And the cat thinks he's crazy. I have a cat that keeps jumping up and going behind my monitor and sitting. She could sit on the floor and look out in the backyard the same way, but she might like the heat or something. And you create a new password. The next time you go into the account, you don't remember what it was, so you have to do the forget password thing. And this guy says, you know, maybe you're right, little kid. I should write them down. I gave my digital asset presentation to a group in Pennsylvania one time, talked about having a password manager and all that good kind of stuff. And this guy raised his hand during Q&A and said, you know, I thought I had everything done, but then there was my comment, if you have your passwords written down, can people read your handwriting? And he said he realized they couldn't. So he was going to have to start that part of his digital management stuff over again. And I found this one on Facebook. Change your name to your password, whatever. I love this. Spits out any weak passwords I come up with. And actually, this is the one I found on Facebook. And I think there's probably many people seeing that and totally agree with it. But these are a few of the places where you have a username and a password. Back in the day when we maybe had started out, everything was smaller. We didn't have all of this kind of stuff. So we could remember our passwords with no problem at all. But the more we're on the computer, the more accounts we get, the more usernames and passwords we need to come up with. And many people use the same ones. Even though they'll look right at me and shake their hands and go, no, I don't use the same ones. But you can tell the look on their face that they really do. So we can't do that. What's a password manager? We're going to talk about all of these items. How does it work? Why in the world should I have one? I do have 2 people in my group who are resistant to using one. And I just don't understand it. And really, are they safe in the cloud? If you don't think they're safe in the cloud, you can have them on your hard drive. Of course, you can't sync. You've got one-stop shopping with them. But I believe RoboForm is one of the ones that you can have on your hard drive, and your member Dave Gerber gave a presentation about that many years ago that was absolutely outstanding. So I keep saying that to my members. There are ones you can have on your computer. Yes, is the question answer. Do you want a free one? Well, or do you want to pay a yearly fee? That's really going to be up to you. And can I use it as a source for my digital asset manager to close my accounts? Absolutely. It is the best thing for whoever is going to take care of all of your stuff after you're not here, is a password manager. So we all know this. It's really difficult, especially since we have so much information in our brains because we've been around so long learning things. So it's difficult for us to come up with a new string of letters, numbers, symbols, and whatever for every single online account we have. So we start just, changing one thing. Well, that's not a good idea. And if you are using the same easy to crack passwords, you're just more vulnerable to hackers and identity theft. So it's simple. How in the world does a password manager work? It encrypts and organizes your passwords, allows you to access them with a master password. Now, you can have a file on your hard drive. You'll need to encrypt that. But if it were me and I was putting it on my hard drive, I would use a computer that is not connected to the internet to create the document or the spreadsheet and then save it in an encrypted file on the computer that I use. So what does it do for you? It generates unique passwords. You look at them and you go, oh my Lord, look at that. You can decide how long you want it to be, how many capital letters, lowercase, symbols, numbers, whatever. You can design your theme, so to speak. And you can look at it and say, that doesn't do anything for me. Please generate a new one for me. Now, there's no way that we're ever going to be able to remember these. Bob G., who is here today, recommends we have 2 password managers just in case one dies. And when LastPass went to charging for some few things that used to be free, people got insulted by that. And many of them went to Bitwarden. And it was super simple to just send everything over to Bitwarden from LastPass, and then they closed that account. So think about that of duplicating your password manager just for grins. So it's convenient. We all love convenience. Simplifies our login process, autofills and passwords, saving us time. God knows we're not remembering any of the new ones. And it's a relief on our memory. We don't have to remember all these passwords and sit there looking at our monitor and go, I wonder what that password is. I just used it yesterday, but I forgot it today. Remember all that stuff we have in our brains. So it's a safety practice recommended by security experts. I think if we had talked to a security expert and we told them we did not use a password, remember, they would think we were pretty strange. It's like a safe, call it a vault, and it's where you can put everything but the kitchen sink. And the key is your master password. All the data is encrypted, handles all your online credentials for you. It can be one-stop shopping. You store your credit card and contact information, notes. It's all in your secured, encrypted database. If you forget your master password, you're up a creek. Sorry, Charlie, you cannot get into your account. You can't, you forget a password and it's just, send us your email. We'll send you a code and you can change your password. Does not happen with a password manager. And so my tip is you print it and you hide several copies throughout your house. Back in the day, we used to put them under our keyboards at work. I don't suggest that anymore in case somebody breaks into our house, but figure out some way that you are going to, if you've fallen off the turnip truck and you cannot remember that master password, let one of your kids be the person who's going to take care of your estate. They're going to need it anyway, but do something like that, but just don't let you be the only one that knows what it is. So, but no tool completely guarantees our online safety. The last time that LastPass got broken into, they actually had passwords stolen. And if somebody broke the encryption and you had easy peasy passwords, they would choose one and then start finding out what all of your accounts are. And they have computers that go zoom and can go through a lot of databases and, oh, there she is again. Oh, we can break into that one too. So we lock our doors, store houses and cars, but they can still get broken into. You're going to want to think about having two-factor authentication if the program uses it. And we are our own worst enemies if we are not using strong passwords and a password manager. Many people they embrace the whole idea. I'm going to start using a password manager, and I am going to create new passwords for every single account I have. Okay, fine. Works for them. I don't think I do that, but works for other people. So, like I said, it's one-stop shopping. You have to think about this. Do you have a Word document or a writer document that has, oh, I just bought this new refrigerator. Here's when I bought it. Here's the model number. Oh, I bought a 3-year guarantee. This is how much it cost. This is who I bought it from. And you have all that information. And then you have another document about your car or whatever. Well, you can put all that in your password manager program. And like I said, everybody loves one-stop shopping. And it's when it's time to shut everything down about you, that person has all the information about all the appliances and all that good kind of stuff. You got your payment details you can put in there, your PIN codes, your loyalty cards, membership numbers, gift cards that people have given you, your medical information, your insurance numbers, anything that you can think of that you need to remember when you are doing fill in the blank, whatever. It could be in your password manager program, one-stop shopping. So recurring subscriptions. Yeah, I was talking to my neighbor next door. He called and said, I need help with my computer. And he got the tech support scam that freezes everything but the kitchen sink. And I said, I'll be over in half an hour. Just go in the other room and do something else. And they have many recurring auto pay. Well, they would need someplace to put all of that. He's not that computer literate. She is, but she doesn't use it, but she understands it. So they have to have it someplace. Password manager program, great. You can put notes in there. You can record your recovery questions. I will look and think, and they'll ask you 3 recovery questions. And you haven't used them in years, and all of them sudden you forget your password, and it says, aha, let us know about one of your recovery questions. And you go, duh, I really, I don't remember. Password manager, there it is. Okay. So why do we have passwords that everybody back in the day you had to change every few months? I can remember doing that at work. And this guy by the name of Bill Burr said in 2003, you have to change those passwords every 90 days. By the way, add capital letters, numbers, and symbols. So protected could be that right there in quotes. Okay. And then by golly, in 2017, he said, you really don't have to do that. I was barking up the wrong tree when I recommended that. And we at work went, thank God, because every 90 days, we had to change our passwords. And it was a pain. So the monkey was their password. It was 1. Oh, 90 days, got to change it. Then it's 2. Mine was welcome at 11, 12, 13, whatever, and which is absolutely no good at all. So it takes longer for computers, those are the bad guys out there, to crack a random mix of words like pig, coffee, wandered, black. Then to guess a word with easy to remember substitutions, as in the 0 for the O, the 3 for the E. And then you add the exclamation point at the end. I read an article that said, please, as you get to be a senior, do not put an exclamation point as the first letter, so to speak, of your password. Because depending upon how your eyes go, it might turn into a 1 or something like that. So save it for someplace else in your password. So what are you using? You don't use a password manager. Do you have it on an encrypted flash drive? Do you have it again, like I talked about, an encrypted file on your computer? Do you have it in a notebook? I love that internet address and password logbook. One of the computer clubs on the upper, northeast side of the country actually gave that to every single one of their members. And I thought, how weird. And then they sent an email out and said, oh, by the way, if you weren't at the last meeting, we'd be more than happy to send you one. And that just made me think to myself again, how weird. If you have something like that that says internet addresses and password logbook, you're going to have to keep that very well hidden. So what good is it going to do you? A lot of people do use little notebooks, big notebooks, or whatever. But you have to think about if you have people coming in to work on your house and they're in the room where your computer is set up and there's this little notebook next to it and nobody's around. Oh, look, you can just, oh my gosh, look at that. All passwords and usernames. Click. Turn the page. Click. And then you wonder why you are getting hacked. So if you have something like that, what do you do with it? You make it look like something else. But remember, it's, if you have service people, you never know. So if you don't want your password manager to use your passwords, you're very happy. You have done a wonderful job. And don't use the ones you created or any variation of the same password. Start new. All of a sudden you have a new account. Don't use a variation of one of the old ones. Be brave. Let the password manager create one for you. Think about, do your passwords have one of a few predictable patterns? Take a look at them and you might think, oh, yeah, I kind of use the same symbol in the same place every time I put a new password together, or I use the same numbers. Well, you're just making it easy to hack. So we're never going to put our names, locations, common English words, zip codes, your old telephone number from back in the day, your pets' names. This is a very good one here, and this is the first initial of all the pets in my family. And the -N is because he's no longer with us. Those are all the dogs and the cats, and it always comes out as very strong. That's something that is super easy for me to remember. Don't use anybody's birthday, anniversaries, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, D, E, and any guessable easy information, because you're online, you're on Facebook, you're on here, you're on there. These bad guys are looking all of those places for information about you. And so you don't want to use any of that for your passwords. So it ends up to be gobbledygook, which is what you get with a password manager. They are all big time gobbledygook. So no, we add some capital letters and we add some numbers and symbols because that's what we've been told to do. Well, they do that too. They have dictionaries of all kinds of different things. So the guy who is still out and about, not in the US, that stole the government documents back in the day, he said if the government had used passphrases, he would have been unable to do that. What's a passphrase? 3 or 4, as many as you want, unrelated words, punctuation, symbols, numbers. You can even put spaces in. You could put STUG meets first Wednesday of the month. And that could be your passphrase. And you just type that out when you have anything to do with, whatever. And somebody suggested Shakespeare's quote, to be or not to be. That is the question. And it could be TBONTBT, and you could add a number here, a symbol there. And I have a friend from when the kids were in elementary school 1,000 years ago, and she's not the most computer literate person in the whole world. And she had to get a new computer. So got an 11, brought it down here, and I set it up. And I loved it. She uses nursery rhymes. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. That's what she could come up with. And every single one of her accounts had a different nursery rhyme as the password. And on a separate page, she had all of the ones that she hadn't used yet. And the number at the end, the next password she put together would be 37. The only problem is she had them saved in a file in Word called, you guessed it, passwords. And I thought, oh, Carolyn, you're so darn smart, but when it comes to computers, you're clueless. So I gave it back to her and I said, the first thing you do is you change the name of that. So it does not say passwords. I don't care what you use. And so she did. But I just had to laugh about that because she thought she was doing such a good job. Well, she was with the passwords, but not with the name of the file. So 2024, April and May, these are some, just a bare few of the companies who's been hacked. People often say, did they get it from my email? They must have hacked into my account. It's usually because they've hacked into a business account and you happen to be there. So you're added. And when you get something like an email from T-Mobile, you don't use T-Mobile. And they just scattergood. They send it out to everybody in the kitchen sink. And don't unsubscribe. Mark it as spam and delete it. If you unsubscribe to something you subscribe to, oh my gosh, it's a real live email address. I can get more money when I sell it because you've proved you will open an email that you have absolutely no clue about. You don't have the account. You don't have you don't know the person. So that's the way they steal it. And then it gets passed around. Okay. And they say, oh, look, I have, Joe Blow's information, and I'm going to see if they have an Amazon account, maybe Chase, eBay, Facebook, Gmail, whatever. And they try it every place they can, because if you've opened it or you've answered that telephone call from somebody you have no clue who they are, you do not recognize the number, that number gets sold for more money also. So back in the day when we first started doing this, we very easily put our mother's maiden name in the form if they asked for it. We filled everything in. Now, don't you dare do that. You make up information. Again, you have your password manager account. So if you have filled out a form for something and you've used Jones instead of your mother's real maiden name, you're going to put that in your password manager. That these are the fields I filled out that aren't true, because this is where they're getting the information about us to easily steal our identity. We don't want that to happen. So here's 40. And these are just, moved around a little bit every single year, but there's that monkey over on the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The first column is usually there. It never changes. People are still using this. I love you has moved up to the first column. But I hope you have absolutely none of these. If you had password 1, and you used the password manager 1Password, that would be strange. But anyway, Web of Trust. I don't know if you know about that, but it's like the yous and me's of the world. We go to a website and it pops up and says, shouldn't really be going there. You go at your own, risk, so to speak. Web of Trust gets information from the yous and me's of the world and puts it all together, and it's either green, yellow, or red. And if it's red, you really don't want to go there. And so this is their crowdsourced security is what it is called. And here are some of the passwords and how long it would take a bad guy to guess it with the programs they use. They're not just sitting around thumbing through books looking for things. It's all computerized, and they might have a fantastically fast computer, 900 download speed, Huey, good Lord, and they can find information instantly. So you need to think about this. So again, random passphrases. If nothing else, use it for your master password. If you have not been to Have I Been Pwned, you need to make a visit. And it is a website where you put in your password, your email account, and it will tell you if you are on a list of usernames, etc., that have been hacked from some company. I do this just for grins every once in a while, and I have a gazillion APCUG, 2 personals, and 1 computer club password. And I haven't had anything on me for many years, but one always comes up. And my oldest daughter's husband, they had a July 4th party every single year, and we'd all get an email invitation. One year he decided to use a program. Well, all his stuff got hacked. And I've been giving him a bad time about that ever since. And he says, I only used it that one time. I thought, why did you use it that time? But it's interesting to see. And then you might want to think you want to change your password. He is a former Microsoft MVP person, well known. He is now working with the government, and they thought this was a cool app to work with, so it can be trusted. But just for grins, check out to see if any of your accounts have been hacked. So, how safe are they? Well, you got your local, like RoboForm, and there's other ones that keep it local, but then you are not somebody who wants to sync anything. You want to be able to be sitting at your computer when you need it, etc. So there's really no safe or unsafe. It's safer than or better than. And being 100% safe would just you unplug your computer from the internet and, like it says, move to an undisclosed bunker. And my comment was, if you are creating a Word document or an Excel spreadsheet with all this information, I would do it when I was not attached to the internet. I would actually use an old computer that I didn't use anymore, and then transfer it over. So local, you got most control. This is what I keep telling my 2 members. Put it on, because one of the wives is always saying, I have all these pictures on my phone. And they used to cruise all the time. What if something happens? And what's interesting is this guy in the real world worked for a company that was highly computerized. And I'm thinking, what's wrong with you? Well, only you're the one who knows where you store your data. You got to have more technology. If you have it encrypted and everything, you got to know how to do that. Where are you going to put that stuff? And again, the biggie, you can't sync. And a lot of people, that's the name of the game these days. So if your computer or your external hard drive crash, you're a victim of a ransomware attack, it might be bye-bye to everything. If you are one that backs up to an external hard drive, it's on that too, unless you say, I don't want to do that either. And you're worried about it's in your RAM. So a hacker would need to be sitting in your chair or trick you into installing malware that has control over your computer and snap your fingers. Everything is gone. So you got it in the cloud. Eliminates the worry that you're going to lose all that important information. Most are simple to use. Doesn't know your master password. So that's good. Data's encrypted. Syncing is automatic. And it supports the widest number of devices. If you are somebody who uses many devices like Bill James does, then you are definitely going to want a password manager that syncs. It's cons, and that's the problem with my two members. They don't like anything in the cloud. You're concerned your password manager will fill in your stuff to a fake website. Psst, they won't do that. And, they say, this isn't right. This person's on the wrong website, so I'm not going to do that. So how do you choose one? Well, the first thing I do is I talk with your club members. You have your Q&A sessions at the beginning, and I throw it out there. What is everybody using? You have people in your club that you trust. I, on the West Coast, have people in your club that I trust. I have people that I don't trust. And they would, not just in your club, but throughout the people that I know. And they would suggest something, and I thank them very much. I really appreciate that. And there would be no way that I would ever use that program because they just don't have their act together. Other people do, and they walk on water. They are knowledgeable. They tell the truth, the bads, the goods, the indifference, whatever. You've got them in your group. Have a discussion. What are you guys using? How easy is it? You might want to ask, does the app have a bug bounty program? If somebody finds a bug in it, they oftentimes get paid. One of the things that you always need to do is please don't forget to log off. Don't leave it open all the time. You want a random password generator. You want to be able to say, I want 6 letters, 3 symbols, and 2 numbers. That's the way you make it yours. And it alerts you to the latest data breaches. Oftentimes, they don't get publicized. Adobe had one 1,000 years ago I was at my tech conference in San Diego in June. I got home and email said, you got to, download this new version of Adobe. And this was just the free Acrobat. And they'd had the breach in the spring. And this was like July. And I'm thinking, what's wrong with this story? And so I did. And 2 weeks later, got another email. They've done it again. And with that, I would never, ever use Adobe Acrobat as a PDF reader for all the money in the world. And I chose one that I thought was good. And I went to CES, Comdex. It was on the Comdex time. I went to Comdex that fall. And lo and behold, Foxit was, previewing their new program. And I chatted with them and I liked what I saw, liked what I heard. So decided, okay, I'm going to be using Foxit. And I used it several years as the free program, so on. And you want end-to-end from your house to their place, military grade encryption. Does it have strict controls? How are you, making sure I can, make a good master password? And can I say, I would like my wife or my husband to be able to access this account if I'm not available? And can I specify 7 days, a month, or can they have immediate access? One of my members moved back to the Chicago area. He was extremely computer literate. His wife really email, and that was it. He ended up in the hospital in a coma. They had no clue what he had, how long he was going to be in there. It was time to use the password manager. She was clueless. And, you just don't call them up on the phone and say, hi, it's me. Well, their daughter's boyfriend worked for a software company, and he did that. And they, let her come in so she could get everything paid that needed to be done. And you better believe when he got out of his coma, he showed her all about it and everything. But don't let you be the only one. If you fall off the turnip truck, nobody's going to be able to get into it. Is their program regularly updated? Are they using the same code and everything from 3 years ago? Come on, everything is new. It should support extension for your browsers. That's how when you are going into an account, you type in your username, the password manager says, aha, Judy is at the XYZ website, and she needs the password for that. And you have the extension for your password manager on your website, and it goes and types it right in before your very eyes, and off you go. Can you export like the LastPass to Bitwarden? If you get tired of using one, so on. So, by the way, what kind of data are you collecting about me? Can I control how much and what you do with it? And by the way, will you please give me a copy of all the consumer data that you've collected about me? Who knows? They might say yes. We never know unless we ask about anything. So, how do you choose one? I am a learn by the seat of my pants person, and it has to be intuitive to me. So I'll choose one. Paid one that's got a free trial. That's the thing. Free one is a free one. So set it up, input a few usernames and passwords, and I have people say, oh my Lord, this is going to take me 16,000 years to do all this. You are not going to sit there day after day after day inputting all the information from your password notebook or whatever you're using. Put in just a few, the ones that you use daily or weekly. And if you don't like it, I don't get this, I don't understand it, it's too convoluted, delete it, try another one. You're not locked in because you don't have too much in there. The way you get more information is you are visiting the websites or the accounts, and it will say, would you like me to add that? And you say, oh, that is so cool, yes. And then when you don't have anything to do, it's snowing or it's raining or whatever, you're bored, you can go into your password manager and fill in the details. You don't have to do it in one fell swoop. Here's Dashlane, very popular program. Alert you about breaches and hacks. It's got a free VPN if you want it. They monitor the dark web and will send you an alert. Hey, we just saw you in a list up here. They have patents for their security. I have never seen that before. Free, you have 50 passwords. If you have 25 passwords, you're not going to have to pay for this. Free's fine. 1Password says they have never, ever been hacked. Okay. They have 2FA. They give you a gig for document storage. They have a travel mode that removes sensitive data from your device when you cross borders, and then it restores it when you arrive where you're going. You guys cruise like crazy in Florida, possibly, as opposed to California. And, I don't know whether they consider borders, but if you, go down to Puerto Rico, you're someplace else, or you go down around the Horn and come back up to my side of this world. Bitwarden. I think this would probably be one of the most liked and easy to use free programs. It's open source, cloud-based or self-host. There you go. And you invite somebody to be your emergency contact. And I've checked, and that was something that Bitwarden didn't have for quite a while. And then all of a sudden it got really popular, and that was something that they said, we're adding that. And then they did. So you can save your passwords in your browsers. I wouldn't for all the money in the world, but it's my personal decision. Chrome, Google, Firefox, whatever. So why do I really listen to this, presentation? Learned a lot, not really interested. I always want to be in control of everything I do with my computer. Well, don't input all of them. Leave the ones out that you use every single day. And that still gives you control of some of your passwords. It's not because we're seniors that, we can't remember things, but we can't remember 75 passwords. We might be able to remember 5 or 6 easily or whatever, but I just don't want to get complete control. That's one way to go around that. I don't trust the cloud. Well, that's again a personal decision by my 2 members. They just don't trust the cloud. And there's not going to be any way you can get around that unless you choose one of the ones that you can have on your hard drive. You still don't understand the concept why it's a great idea. What happens if a company folds? You are not going to get a password manager for some company that you have never heard before. Because remember, you're going to learn from your members, what are you using? And they're going to say, I've been using this for 5 years and it's absolutely fantastic. Or, I tried this and don't bother. It is horrible. I'm lazy. I don't want to take the time to input the information in because you're one of those people that thinks you have to sit there and type away. Well, we found out we don't need to do that. So you've got your, I'm not going to be here any longer plans put together. And you've got a digital asset executor. I have also given my presentation to other many groups, and I can remember one guy said, my executor doesn't know anything about computers. I didn't even think about that. So he and the guy whose handwriting can't be read, had some work to do. But if you have everything in a password manager, it is super simple for them to go in. You've got all of your accounts in there. You've got that refrigerator that you just bought, and they will get an idea of, if we sell it, it's 1 year old, it's worth a lot of money, so to speak. It just makes everything much easier for that person who's probably really been out of shape that you're not around anymore. And then I have where I got the information from. So I am finished. Do we have any questions?
Great presentation. Thank you, Judy.
Thank you.
I have a comment, and I'd like your opinion of it. A lot of people have password managers, and when they open their computer, when they start their computer up, it automatically opens up their password manager. And then it's open all the time that they're on their computer. And my problem with that is that means anyone who can turn on your computer has all your passwords. And you don't want to do that.
Correct.
What you want to have a password manager that you can tell it to time out after maybe 10 minutes or 15 minutes after you've used it. And it doesn't close the program. It only signs you out. So you have to sign in with that magic long password. And then you can sign back in and get whatever you need.
Or you also don't choose yes. It's not in your start menu. You've taken it out of your start menu, so it doesn't open up when you start. Because when you download lots of programs, they think they are the be all to end all, and you want to use it every single day. So they put themselves in your start menu. How many times do we go into our start menu and hi, what's in there? So that's something you need to do at least once a month, once a week, if you're a heavy downloader of stuff. Because if people complain, oh my God, it's taking so long for my computer to turn on, and then you find the last 5 apps that you've downloaded all in your start menu, and you don't use them every day. You don't want them in there. So don't check that box, and check after you download your password manager and, disable it in your start menu.
I use a password manager that is not on most lists of recommended ones because it's been around a long time, and it costs for every platform you have to pay a fee. For my iOS, I had to pay a fee. For my Windows, I had to pay a fee. For my what was it? Something else. Anyway, so I had to pay over the years, but I've had it since I had a Palm Pilot.
Oh.
So I've had the same
Sorry.
password manager, and I continue to use it. I have over 1,700 cards in that password manager.
Good Lord.
So, uh, Bob G, you have your hand up. I don't know whether it's, you've been waiting patiently or whether you forgot it was up.
JJ uses one from back in the day too.
Bob probably has put it up and then forgot. Joel, go ahead.
Not sure if I just haven't read the instruction manuals correctly, but my challenge has been to find password manager that I can allow my wife to use in the same vault. We have one list right now, and we share it back and forth on our 2 PCs, and most of them use two-factor authentication on a cell phone. And how do I get it to be valid with 2 cell phone numbers?
Mr. Poplock, do you have an answer? I don't.
I don't either.
That's a Google question as far as I'm concerned.
I've tried, I haven't found an answer. My point is,
the only thing that I can figure
out,
go ahead.
we have one vault, we share all of our files, we share all of our accounts. They're all husband and wife, but obviously she has her own cell phone and therefore a separate cell phone number. So if the password manager is using two-factor authentication using a cell phone, how does it know which cell phone to make the inquiry? And can it live in a 2 cell phone system with one vault?
Did you ask your password manager program?
Haven't bought one yet because I can't answer this question.
Oh, so you're not using one. You need to find, maybe Drew has the answer for us.
The best case scenario is if you can find, if the website that you're logging into uses an authenticator app as an option rather than an SMS text message that they send to your phone, because there are open source authenticator apps that you can load on 2 phones and be able to unlock the 2-factor authentication as long as your second factor is an authenticator token rather than an SMS text message.
Thank you. Perhaps Chris has an easier answer.
Well, that's we're still using LastPass. We have a very secure, main password, and one of my favorite features is the family plan feature of LastPass. I mean, I have my own LastPass account. Jim has his own LastPass account. They're installed but there are shared folders. So if I decide to change the password for our bank account, it is saved in the shared folder on LastPass. Next time he goes to sign into our bank account, he has the new password. Works slick.
Very slick, and it works across all the different platforms. She has an iPhone and an Android. I have an Android and a Mac, and she has a PC.
Has Windows.
I have a Windows, and it all works for everything. And I have 2 different Macs. So it's seamless. It's, depending on where you are and what you do with your stuff, I don't see anything wrong with letting, for some people, not for everyone, because everyone's different, let your browser take care of it for you. You're not gonna be attacked in most cases. But no matter where you're saving it, LastPass got hacked some years ago now. But I think that kind of makes it a little safer in some ways because they're more diligent, maybe.
Yeah, one that has never been hacked sounds to me like they're due.
Yeah, they got a target right on their back somewhere.
Apparently they
Anyway.
don't. Just for grins, I Googled password managers with family accounts. Absolutely nothing came up with that word, but that's what I would do, is try to drill down on several that you are interested in to see if they have a family account, or if they have one of those little people down at the bottom in the lower right-hand corner that you can chat with. Ask them, do you have a family plan?
Well, one of the reasons we stayed with LastPass even after the breach was because no one else offered that. And we looked, and we're pretty good at that stuff.
Okay,
So-
you open source people, you should get in touch with Bitwarden and say, when are you going to have a family plan?
There you go. That would be good.
They
Bitwarden's been
finally
around a long
added
time.
the second person can have the login information. Anyway, too cool. Thank you so much. I knew we'd find something easy if they exist. Any other questions? I
Yes,
hope
I do. Judy, I
Yes,
needed to have some information how to join the ACPUG. Is that what you're with?
you don't join us, you join STUG, and I sent you the page where you could fill out the form and give them your credit card number and you will become a member.
I did that for STUG today.
Good job. Hey,
Do I
not
do I
too
keep
shabby.
the same-
Hey, you guys, recruiting members for you here. What can I tell you? Huey wasn't available.
No,
Anyway,
Yuri was there. Yuri was there, but I have a question. Do I still use the same membership number as I did a few years ago? Because I didn't renew the membership. So do I still use, when I want to go to ACPUG, they're going to say, what is your ID or member number? Do I still use that?
that's the STUG. Can the membership chair for STUG answer that question? APCUG has no membership numbers. You are not a member of APCUG. You are a member of STUG. STUG has all the benefits that we provide our member groups, and they're all for free.
Good.
And you will get that trending email. You will get notified of all of my Wednesday workshops. The second and the fourth are Windows and Apple and stuff like that. And the third Wednesday is Linux. Okay.
Holly,
Yes,
you'll get an email from our membership chair that will give you your number, and it most likely will be the same number, but in case, just check it when you get your membership card.
Okay.
Judy,
Yes.
Dashlane has a family plan.
Okay. And I can remember, Huey, back in the Jim Evans day, a whole bunch of people were using Dashlane. They all just loved it. Of course, none of them are around anymore, but they really love Dashlane. And
Bob, that's the one you're using, right?
That's correct. Yep. That's my primary.
since when?
Well over a year.
Okay. And what's your secondary? Do you am I speaking the truth or making things up from the way
No,
it was?
I still have that for secondary.
Okay. Okay. So remember, ask your members, you guys, when is your next social get together?
September.
September? Okay, well, that's a while, but ask who else. Huey, you and Bill are probably going to be there doing your thing again. Ask people, what are you using as a password manager, and can you really recommend it? And the second thing is, is it easy to use? Or in my case, it would be intuitive.
Yep. Judy, I just looked at Bitwarden. They have a family plan is $3.33 a month for 6 users, billed as $40 annually.
Okay, outstanding. Outstanding, Drew. Thank you so much for that, because it's almost the most sought after open source.
You get unlimited sharing, unlimited collections, organization storage, and it's for 6 people.
Okay, so Bitwarden, write that down wherever you've gone, because he's not on my top line anymore. This is where you learn things, you guys. We all share. The motto of user groups is users helping users. And that's exactly what we're doing. I got you a new member today by answering an email that I got. I went to your page. I sent her the URL for the form, and off it went.
Thank you, Judy.
Welcome. In my spare time. So anyway, I hope even you guys that have been using password managers might have learned one thing. My thing is, when I attend a presentation, I'm happy with one new thing, and I wrote down timeout and something else here to add to my presentation. And before this, I was on our senior center, had an LASD, Los Angeles Sheriff's Department deputy give a presentation about security. I heard to tell you, the guy didn't know a thing, and out of his mouth came, I really don't know that much about technology. And I thought, why are you here? So the chat, and I didn't realize it in the first place, but the chat was on their screen. Oh, I'm just typing send, send, and just stuff we all know. He hadn't a clue. Oh, they say that's a good idea. Okay. So you
Judy,
never know where you can share your information.
Judy, one more time about, I think dual authentication is really necessary in today's world.
Thank you. Well, thank Bill Crow. He's the one who booked it, so to speak.
Okay, if there are no, Go ahead.
Passkeys is also what you need to start using. And if you're
Yes.
using Dashlane, it can automatically be the authenticator for the pass key.
And Dashlane, remember, is paid. Bitwarden is free. Your
Yep.
choice. Depends on, in your head, what you prefer. Some people won't use anything free.
All right, I want to thank Judy very much for a great presentation.
I thought it was super. Thank you.
And even though I've been using one for, as I said, many, many years, I always learn something when I watch one of these presentations. And thank you, Judy, and Bill for booking her.
Your new
Judy?
member has a question, and she wanted to know if she could attend any other user groups now that she's a STUG member. And wherever you are, you need to go to apcug2.org and look under member benefits for groups sharing meetings. And you will find Anne Marie's Glendora Seniors Group. She's here, and you can attend her meeting on the 2nd and 4th Wednesday afternoons anytime you want to.
Anne Marie, I didn't even see you there.
Are you going to have your drawing now?
No, we don't do a drawing anymore.
Oh.
So we want to thank you and everyone who attended today. Remember that the Q&A that we do, the help desk, is just prior to this meeting. So you want to get here early on the first Wednesday of the month, and Jim will field your questions and we can come up with your answers. And there's also the groups.io. And if you go to the website and look that up, it will tell you how to join, what the steps are to join it. and you can ask questions there, and then they will get answered via email. So there's lots of ways to get answers to your questions. We all are volunteers, so we try to help you as much as we can, but it's not our job. It's our desire to help you. And we try to do that as best we can. And there's a lot of us who do that. So by all means, ask your questions and we'll see if we can find answers. Get in touch with Jim or myself prior to a meeting with your question, and maybe we can have some information for you for the help desk. So,
Huey,
yes, Bill.
does Chris, Chris just, I thought her hand was up. I
Yeah.
thought her hand, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Our geeky prince have a question.
Go ahead, Chris.
Unmute yourself. Thank you.
No, we don't have a question. I just wanted to mention that we'll be presenting here next month's
Yes, that's right.
presentation. Thanks to Bill Crow. Chris is going to be doing tips and tricks for Google Photos. So hope to see you next month.
Hope all of you are here. Invite your friends. And with that, unless there's any other questions, we'll call it an evening. We appreciate all of you being members and attending our meetings. And with that, I thank you on behalf of STUG and Judy. Again, thank you.
Thank you, Judy and Huey and Bill.